Great. Welcome, everybody, to our Learn from the Leaders webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Alex Mays, and I'm the National Program Director at Healthy Schools Campaign, which is the organization that is hosting today's webinar. I'll tell you a little bit more about Healthy Schools Campaign in a couple of minutes, but first I just wanted to quickly review some of the basics for today's webinar. We encourage you to be a part of the conversation around green cleaning today. You can follow Healthy Schools Campaign at Healthy Schools for our latest on information about environment and education and health. Please feel free to tweet #GreenClean. And we will also be posting today's webinar and the slides on our website. And we will be sending out that information in a follow-up email that will go out probably first thing next week in case you want to download and look at those slides from our presenters today or listen to the recording again. Just briefly, as far as logistics goes, our webinar is going to run for about an hour today. And once again, a recording and the slides will be available online. We have a very, very brief survey at the end of the webinar that we would love to have everybody complete just to provide their feedback on the webinar. And we'll save the last 15 minutes of the webinar today for question and answer. So throughout the webinar, as our speakers are presenting, please feel free to send in questions through the questions box, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. And we'll be collecting those questions and then asking them of our presenters today. So please feel free to do those throughout the webinar. We have a wonderful lineup of speakers for today's webinar, and they have a number of things in common. One represents a big university and the other is from a K-12 school district. They're both from Georgia, and they are both members of our esteemed Green Clean Schools Leadership Council and won the Grand Green Cleaning Award in 2015. Tommy Little is Associate Director of Building Services at the Georgia Institute of Technology, and he has been using Onsite Generation technology to clean the campus in safe and environmentally healthy ways for many years, and has many valuable facts and figures that he's going to share with us today. And then Tommy will be followed by Kimberly Thomas, who's the Executive Director of Plant Services and Custodial Operations at Clarke County School District. And she has also been doing some groundbreaking things with her school's program assessments and inspections, collaborating with school nurses, and even starting to track how her green cleaning program is positively impacting absenteeism, which we are very excited to hear. Before we get into presentations, I just wanted to briefly introduce Healthy Schools Campaign, which is the organization that's hosting today's webinar. We have a number of exciting events coming up related to green cleaning this summer and fall, which I wanted to be sure to share. Healthy Schools Campaign is a Chicago-based nonprofit, and our work is centered around the simple and common sense notion that healthy students are better learners. And we work to ensure that all students have access to healthy school environments where they can learn and thrive. A core component of that work is supporting green cleaning in schools. We, for over the past decade, have promoted our Green Clean Schools program, which includes a quick and easy guide to green cleaning, which you can access on our website at that link at the bottom of the page, which highlights 5 easy steps to green cleaning in schools and has a number of great resources related to those steps, so that whether you are starting a green cleaning program in your school or already have one and are looking to improve it, you can access those resources to really help you move that work forward. Our website also includes information about our Green Clean Schools Leadership Council, which, as I mentioned, both Kimberly and Tommy are members of, and it's made up of top school facility directors in the country who provide guidance and mentorship to really help us build a strong peer-to-peer professional network with the goal of engaging thousands of other facility directors. We also do an annual Green Cleaning Award with American School and Universities to really promote wonderful programs across the country. And once again, both Tommy and Kim were the winners of the Grand Award last year for our Green Clean Schools Award. And so a wonderful way to receive recognition for your green cleaning program. And this has some additional information about it. It's for K-12 and for universities. And there's a link if you would like to sign up for more information about next year's Green Cleaning Award. And once again, we encourage you to recognize and submit an application for your award if you are interested in receiving that recognition. These are last year's award winners. In case you have one in your area that you're interested in reaching out to or would like to learn more about the great programs that they are leading in their areas. We have a number of exciting upcoming events this year. We are very excited to announce that next month we're going to be running the Green Clean Schools Leadership Institute, where we're inviting the nation's top school facility managers to convene and to cultivate their leadership skills and to really try to grow the green cleaning movement. We have some hands-on interactive workshops that are planned, a tour of the award-winning Howard County Public School Systems program, and expert panels on topics like engaging program leadership, communication skills, how to be a transformational leader in the industry. And it's a wonderful opportunity to network with others in the field. I know Kimberly Thomas will be attending the event and speaking, so you get a chance to network with her and other wonderful leaders that are working in this space. If you would like to learn more about it, you can go to actually the link down at the bottom of that website, greencleanschools.org events. And also in October, we will be holding at ISSA a Green Clean Schools Forum. So if ISSA, which is the International Cleaning Convention, if that's something that you regularly attend or have considered attending, we would encourage you to do so and connect with us around that and participate in that. And once again, you can learn more about that at the link at the bottom of this page. This has some additional information about our Green Clean Schools Leadership Institute. It's going to be from July 28th to the 29th at Turf Valley Resort in Ellicott City, Maryland. It's a 2-day event, and we encourage you to go to this site to learn more about that institute and to sign up. If you sign up by June 24th, you get 25% off your registration fee. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Tommy Little from Georgia Institute of Technology. Tommy, as I said, is the Associate Director of Building Services and for Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta, and established and has led Georgia Tech's award-winning green cleaning program since 2003, and has been working there in the cleaning industry for 19 years. Under Tommy, the program has earned the 2007 and 2010 Green Cleaning Award Honorable Mention recognition, and in 2015 received the Grand Award. He was recipient of Georgia Tech's Earth Day Environmental Awards for Leadership and Sustainable Initiatives in 2008, and was featured in the Bulletin of the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education, recognized by the National Wildlife Federation in 2008. In addition, Tommy has led his school to receive Green Seal certification in 2016 and the Green Ribbon Award from the U.S. Department of Education in 2016. And once again, he is a member of our Green Cleaning Leadership Council at Healthy Schools campaign. It's been instrumental in forming the work that we're leading, and we so appreciate him taking the time to be with us today. So Tommy, I will go ahead and hand it over to you now.
Okay, thank you, Alex. I will go and share with you our renewable cleaning program here at Georgia Tech. You can advance to the next slide. So what do we and how do we define renewable cleaning? Here at Tech, renewable cleaning is leveraging technology instead of traditional methods and chemicals to clean indoor air quality and protect public health. Next slide. In other words, renewable cleaning is the safest, healthiest way to maintain indoor environment. Next slide, please. So I don't know if you remember, at least back when I was in school, we had the textbooks, so now we have the laptop. So kind of give you an idea how technology has changed our world. Next slide, please. In terms of leveraging technology, this is some of the, I guess you would say, workhorse that we use here at Tech in terms of doing our job and protecting the environment. Most of you, or some of you probably are using some of it right now. The two machines to the left we use to do floor work. Neither requires chemical. The one in the middle doesn't even require water. But we can do all that, protect the environment, and preserve health here. The machine on the right we refer to as the immerser, this wand-looking machine. Now, this machine allows us to make 3 solutions that we actually use to clean the entire campus. We have the glass cleaner, the all-purpose, and the degreaser. Next slide, please. So the evolution of technology with the Onsite Generation technology, Genion is what we refer to it. This is the organization that probably we've been working with over some years, and recently have earned an EPA registration, which is probably first, I guess, in the country. The solution that we use, the disinfectant, is 80 to 200 times powerful than bleach, but without the harmful side effects that clean and disinfect. But that's only one of the solutions that we use to clean the campus. Next slide, please. So at one point, we started out with this compact machine, the instant flow that was affixed to the wall that dispensed this solution, these 3 solutions. And then we advanced to the portable machine, the immerser, which we refer to. That's the machine at the bottom right, which we actually put into water, and it makes the 3 solutions. And the solutions, the all-purpose, the glass cleaner, and the greaser is salt added with water that spits out this solution. Next slide, please. Again, just to further advanced evolution, that's where we started and where we end. At one point, a lot of schools and organizations, I guess when we started back testing, it was around 2007 when we started out with the active ion machine, which we used to clean the entire campus. That technology kind of faded out, and then we started using the Genion machines, which we found to be more effective in terms of cleaning. And it's just a different how we transition from one technology to the other, or one piece of equipment to the other, rather, but similar technology. Next slide, please. This is the thing that most people find interesting when we're able to show them the results of what we're doing. So back in 2007 was the year we ran a pilot program with phasing out chemicals. And here, what I'm illustrating, the year we start able to collecting data, we started in 2008. But in 2008, we was cleaning the campus with roughly 26,000 gallons of chemical, 25,960. That was the amount of gallons it took to clean the campus. As you can see over the years, from 2008 to 2014, which was the year that we collect data, we managed to reduce our chemical inventory 56%. So we started out at 25,960 in terms of gallons of chemical used to clean the campus. And at the end of fiscal year 2014, we were down to 11,228. That was a progression over the 6 or 7 year period of the chemical that we reduced by going to the on-site generation or ionized water, whichever you want to refer to. Next slide, please. Now, in terms of measuring costs, how much money were we able to save? So again, we used the figures from 2008, which is a full year that we could start tracking. We were spending $97,590 in terms of our chemical budget. And over the years, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, you can see the progression of cost in terms of the reduction of chemical over the years. So from 2008 to 2014, we reduced it, that's basically 82% in terms of cost, from $97,590 to $22,252. So that's where we went in terms of cost savings. And to the left, you can look at the projections. This what we would have spent, $683,130 in chemical costs. The savings are below. So that's the route we were heading had we not changed in terms of what we were spending on chemical. The figure below is the projected cost savings. And these are conservative figures when you consider the fact that the campus actually grew well over 1 million square feet over that 6 or 7 years period. So we were able to clean the campus, reduce chemical, and do it more effectively. Next slide, please. Well, this is an area that we all, I guess, sometimes struggle when we're trying to determine what is dirty, what is clean, and how clean is clean. Our whole mission, and I just lost my page, excuse me. I'm going to have to log back on if y'all can just give me a moment. While I'm waiting for that, I have backup copies, so I'm going to kind of proceed. But the slide that you were just looking at, which states how dirty is dirty, gives you an illustration of the breakdown between the contaminants on the surface, the bacteria count. The industry defined clean or ultra clean is anywhere from 0 to 10, very dirty from 11 to 30, and good and clean from 31 to 80, so forth and so on. And filthy is 1,000 and above. Next slide, please. In terms of measuring results, this was a test that we took, efficacy testing, excuse me, whereas in the building that I'm actually housed in, the O'Keefe building, we went and did testing of particular areas in the building. We had men's urinals that we tested. We actually swabbed the area using the ATP meter, and we swabbed the area before we began cleaning. For example, the men's urinals, we got a reading of 175. We took that same area and we cleaned it with a hospital-grade disinfectant, got the numbers down to 2, and then we used our Onsite Generation water and got the numbers down to 1. And if you can look at that to the left column, different areas, it repeats itself all the way down where you can see using straight water as opposed to hospital-grade disinfectant, we were able to clean the surfaces cleaner. Next slide, please. Here, these are some of the tools that we're using here on campus in terms of technology. One of the machines that we use is the mister. That's the blower at the top of the page. Again, we use our facilities that we're housed in. Actually went in there and decontaminated, I guess you could say, the area using the on-site generation disinfectant. You can look at the readings before we start cleaning. If you look at the column to the left, you see whereas that we swabbed the handle on the men's room metal handle, got a reading of 70. After using the technology and we fogged the area, we got the number down to 7. And if you look at it, repeats itself again all the way down. So we had a situation actually last year in one of our facilities, the Campus Recreation Center, where we had a staph infection and was able to respond, go in the area, contain it, and kept that from spreading throughout campus using some of the technology we have and using the water. So we were real happy about that. Next slide, please. Hopefully we're looking at the same slide because I lost my screen and I apologize, but this is just a slide showing our awards over the years, the Apple Awards in 2006, the Green Cleaning, as Alex mentioned, in 2007 and 10, the Earth Day, Princeton Review, National Wildlife Association, the Grant Award from American Schools and University in 15. This year we were certified. We achieved our Green Seal certification and also the Green Ribbon with the U.S. Department of Education. And I believe the last slide that you have is an illustration of me doing a demonstration with a group of people who actually represent the senior leadership at Georgia Tech, which would be the president, the provost, and all the vice presidents. They came down to our department to look at that technology and some of the things that we were doing, and left very impressed. Anytime you work in an academic institution and the institute president and cabinet come down to your facility, these are academic people which have very little interest in our world, but take the time to come down and look at what we were doing and leave impressed. We were very pleased by that. And hopefully, I went through all the slides presentation. As again, I apologize, but I lost my screen, but that completes my presentation.
Great job, Tommy. You were right on track with all your slides, so well done going from the paper version. Thanks for doing that. And thank you so much for sharing the wonderful program that you're leading at Georgia Tech. I think it's you continue to think about how to really progress your program and change, improve upon what you're doing, and it's always wonderful to hear about the work that you're leading there. So I'm sure if people that are listening in have questions for Tommy, please feel free to send them in through that questions box, and we will get to them at the end of the webinar. So thank you so much, Tommy. And so now I'm going to introduce our second speaker, Kimberly Thomas from Clarke County School District. And Kimberly is responsible for facilities management and custodial operations for Clarke County, which was the winner of the Green Cleaning Award for Schools and Universities for 2015. And they also received honorable mention in 2014. Her department has also received recognition for its commitment to green cleaning and sustainability from the Healthy Schools Network, Environmental Protection Agency, Georgia State Office, the U.S. Green Building Council, and Georgia Division. Prior to her role at Clarke County, Kim was Assistant Director of Services for the University of Georgia Facilities Management Division, where in her role there, she also led them to a Green Cleaning Award, Grand Award in 2010. So we're so lucky to have Kim with us today, and it's been incredible to see how she's taken a lot of the lessons that she's learned from her time at University of Georgia to Clarke County and has created a wonderful program. So Kim, I will go ahead and hand it over to you now.
Okay, thank you, Alex, and it's always a pleasure to be here and try to share some of the things that we're doing in the K-12 school district. And I know we have some of the same challenges as most of our audience out there, and I'm certainly very happy and proud of the accomplishments that Tommy Little has been able to lead his staff in at Georgia Tech. Even though being a UGA Georgia Bulldog, we're often rivals in state, but it's glad to know we're all on the same page when it comes to environmental sustainability for our students and our staff on those of our respective campuses. So we'll talk a little bit about what we're doing in Clarke County. Next slide, please. Okay, these are some of the unique issues for schools, but it's not just limited to K-12 facilities. It really relates to all of our facility management areas, and these include increased instances of asthma and other type of respiratory ailments, not just in our students, but also in our staff, and also particularly with some of our custodial employees. And these are our folks who handle some of the products every single day. And so being conscious of what we put into their hands, as well as how they use these products, is very important for how they work day to day and what they take home. The use of schools as community facilities. I don't know how many other school districts across the country and certainly across this region have faced the situation where more and more we are seeing that our school facilities are almost the community centers. Right now, even though we're in summer session at my school district, we have over 55 summer camp / enrichment / community programs. And so it's almost to the point where our schools are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with particular programs going on. Another thing is the increased use of, I'm sorry, go back to that, thank you. The increased use for schools as extended day programs. As I mentioned, we do have summer camps, and we do have some programs for some of the smallest K through pre-K and K through 3 programs where they are using some of our schools as extended day care programs. So that poses challenges for how we clean and when we clean, and certainly working through those challenges. I'm sure we're not the only ones that face that. I'll get down to the increased security by parents and boards of education to make sure that how we handle toxic products, and being very happy with the transition for our cleaning programs and as well as our facility operations to move to environmental sustainable process is a real benefit, and it's a big attraction for people who are interested in coming into our school district. A lot of times that economic and social side is not really realized as far as what we do in facility management, but it's a key point and a key pull, a key draw to pull people into your school district. And then a final thing, and Tommy touched on this in his presentation really, really well, but it is the pressure to hold the line on expenses. Next slide, please. So what are we doing? And I just really wanted to kind of touch on some of the more specific things that we're doing in Clarke County, which is we're utilizing our maintenance software program to track HV repairs and PM schedules to help us monitor our units in our schools. Doesn't sound like green cleaning, huh? But yes, it really is. And how we maintain these particular HVAC systems as it relates to indoor air quality, which is a key a priority for what we want our cleaning program and our facility management program to really focus on. How do we improve the indoor air quality in the indoor environment so that our students can be comfortable, can learn, our staff can be comfortable, and they can do their jobs. Along with that is how do we control moisture and mold, teaching not only our custodial staff, but also our teachers in conjunction with working with school nurses, our academic leadership, as well as our building maintenance staff, how important it is to control moisture, recognize issues that can pose larger problems later for us, and most importantly, to report those things. Also bringing into integrated pest management with contracts that specifically ensure that our vendor understand how important IPM is. We don't want to spray toxic products throughout the school haphazardly. We want to have a targeted focus in how we treat, and number one, how we prevent having pests in our schools. Another phase that we look at under our green cleaning umbrella now focuses in on our cleaning and our maintenance and using green cleaning as a daily practice. Tommy touched on some of the products that he's using from the engineered water and things of that nature. We also are using that here in Clarke County as well. And we've been running a dual test, a pilot project with Tersano, which is the aqueous ozone, as well as Genion as well. And we found that, there are a lot of good benefits to both. And so we're determining, which direction we want to go, but we're going to go in one of those directions. And we do like that. And also just giving our staff a chance to have the buy-in that they really want and need. I don't know how many times or how many challenges some of our other audience members have faced, the hurdle of introducing a new cleaning procedure and maybe having some pushback from staff because they might still be stuck in a traditional mindset of cleaning. And so this has been our attempt to kind of take baby steps into it, and we have our staff on board. And so it's really great to see that transition and making sure that our staff understands that, they're on the front line of public health. And so us running a dual pilot, having Tersano in some of our schools on one side of town and then having Genion on the other side of town, and just seeing how both sides mesh together to understand you don't need a toxic smell, You don't need all the colors necessarily, and you can have an effective cleaning program. Green purchasing and source control kind of tie in together for us by working with our business and finance to ensure that our contracts have an environmental sustainability focus, that our business partners understand the high value that we place on the products that they bring to us, the packaging, understanding that we want third-party certifications as much as possible in what they use, and they have to comply with our measures or we don't use them. And I think a key thing in trying to tie all of this together is effective communication and support. I kind of mentioned earlier on how we work with our school nursing department as well as our academic leadership to make sure that they understand why green cleaning, environmental sustainability is so important, not just as a process for my department, but as a day of life for what we want to teach our students and getting them on board early on respecting their spaces and respecting products that they use, encouraging them to really understand how much of a benefit what we do is for their behalf. And so some of the ways that we have effective communication and support includes working with our safety coordinator, who is district-wide, and doing safety walks through all of our schools with the principals, with key teachers, sometimes community members, and with our plant services and custodial operations staff, and looking at room by room by room of schools with a designated list of things that we want to make sure either would be removed from classrooms if they're not safe, making sure that we limit the number of household products sent to our schools, and having a way to educate, as well as providing the information so that the teachers can share that with their students and share that with the parents. So we also include safety newsletters, safety committees, as I mentioned, and providing information to our Board of Education and our administrative staff. Next slide. This slide shows a very specific example of how we have worked to begin measurements to kind of see how our green cleaning program is being effective. We work with school nurses to really kind of get an understanding of where some of our students with the most serious types of asthma care plans are within our school district. And looking at some numbers here, they go back as far as the 2012 through 2013 school year, and looking at particularly students who have missed more than 15 days of school due to asthma or respiratory related types of illnesses, and then understanding where these specific classrooms are, and then targeting our custodial staff to really focus on cleaning those rooms, working with our maintenance staff to look at the HVAC systems, looking for any moisture or mold or anything that could pose reduced indoor air quality in those areas. Just trying to find ways that we can be a better partner to our academic side and improve the conditions, because our students can't be as successful as they need to be if they're not in class. And then looking to the following year, the 2013 to 2014, where we have seen some improvements, and then we've tried to continue to focus on how we can assist, how we can be a better partner for our academic mission. So we targeted informational flyers to promote flu shots and helped our school nurses get that word out. We partner with them to work with the teachers inside a classroom to reduce air triggers. Looking at, for example, reading nooks. A lot of times it's a very comfortable place to be for teachers to encourage reading and things like that. But what we found were the sofas, the big fluffy pillows, the teddy bears, the blankets and things were really not being properly cared for or cleaned. The area throw rugs were not being properly cleaned. So working with school staff to understand these things that are brought into the classroom, the custodial staff isn't responsible for that. So we want to be a partner. So, leaving little reminders, hey, it's time to probably check the sofas, any type of throw rug that look disheveled or look very dirty, working with those teachers to understand this is an asthma trigger, let's get this out. In our new schools that we are building in the district, having designated areas constructed into the classroom, so it's less inclined to bring throw rugs. It's designated carpet squares, and just working with teachers to get their input on how we can improve indoor air quality from a design standpoint as well. Next slide, please. Okay, a second way that we have been working to try to be a partner in our schools is targeting portable units, or as we call them in Clarke County, learning cottages. We're blessed and also cursed sometimes with a growing student population. And so as we work to try to ensure that we have adequate space so that all of our students have the proper areas that they need to learn and to grow and to learn, we have had to use portable units in some of our schools as well. And one of the things that we have found is in some of those units, the HVAC systems are not as we want. So what we have started to do within this last year is work with a company to look at air purification devices in some of our portables. And what we have found is through targeted cleaning, enhanced HVAC system monitoring, and quicker repairs, in addition to air purification, we have seen a significant improvement of the indoor air quality. And we have measured these using some handheld devices, and we really like how successful air purification is a step in improving the indoor air quality in these particular units. And so we're going to continue researching this and tie this more into specific absenteeism and possibly test scores. We can't say, for example, cleaning alone is the most important thing here. We want to try to look at all angles, and the early feedback from our teachers and our principals in just running this program for just one school year has just been phenomenal, as far as looking at worker productivity, teachers responding on our surveys that students feel a lot more energized, productive at the end of the day, just as much as they are at the beginning of the day. And so there's some very encouraging things that we can look at to say that, how is plant services in operation facilitating our academic instruction to improve student success. Next slide, please. And as you see, again, just wanted to mention just a few other things as far as ongoing efforts. And you can see from the slides here, and these are some of the same things that I'm sure most all of you are doing. I've touched on safety inspections, looking for anything that's unsafe, putting that information into school reports and reporting that in front of all of our Board of Education and our leadership meetings, and sometimes just the power of these reports in a open platform with all the principals, that definitely helps us to get our point across sometimes, where some schools are doing the things that can really benefit indoor air quality, and some other schools are working harder to improve what they do. Developing a preventative maintenance plan and assigning accountability, and then also training and cleaning training our cleaning and maintenance staff on the protocols, and making sure that we have annual refresher training on all equipment, all green cleaning procedures, and making sure that we really check our inventory to make sure that what we have is environmentally sustainable. Next slide, please. Of course, ensuring that our safety data sheets now, instead of MSDS sheets, but our safety data sheets are available to all of the staff and have a notebook at the front of every school so that they can share that information to any of our community members or parents who are interested to know what types of products or what our green cleaning procedures are at every single school is very important as far as communication. And again, talking about the specific things of a green cleaning program that we're doing, which is using microfiber and using high efficiency filtration or HEPA devices as we work every day, as our mechanic and HVAC techs work and what they do. And also, we also used our misters with our Genion products, so that our HVAC specialists, as they clean coils in the HVAC units, they can also mist. And that, again, is going to kill the 99.999% of most bacteria. Next slide. And these are just some of the benefits of green cleaning that we have found in our district, and I'm sure some of you all who have a green cleaning process where you work have seen the same benefits. The promotion of saving water, energy, and reducing environmental footprint. But most importantly, as I've touched on, improving the indoor air quality of our schools. And another thing that we really are happy about are the best practices that we've been able to implement throughout our school district, not just for our custodial operations, but also on our facility maintenance side, and being partners for our school safety coordinator department, even through transportation, working with school nurses, as I mentioned, and all of the conversations and shared responsibilities that we see with academics. Next slide. And on this slide, you see some of the best practices recognition that we have received for our program. And as I always tell our staff, you know, it's very important to let their work show for itself. So when you are doing the best that you can and you have a great protocol in place, then they take a lot of pride in that. And our school administrators, our school teachers, they feel so much more connected to their custodial staff and to their maintenance staff because they see that they are working every day to improve indoor air quality and to improve the school so that their students can be the very best that they can be. Okay, that's it for me, Alex.
Great. Thank you so much, Kimberly. That was a wonderful presentation, and I really appreciate you sharing all that great information. It's always exciting to hear when you're thinking of really tracking and looking at the impact that these types of programs have on students and linking it to things like absenteeism and student health, which I think really resonates with educators and is a key strategy to building support, especially in K-12 schools for these types of programs. So thank you. So we are now going to move on to our question and answer section of our agenda. So please feel free to send in questions that you have for either Kim or Tommy. We've had a lot come in already. So we will go ahead and just jump right in and get started. So the first question is for Tommy. Tommy, what type of cloths or textiles are being used with your program, and did that change when you changed the chemicals being used?
Microfiber, we've been using it, I would say, for the last, it's been around for a lot, 10, 15 years. So we had microfiber in place before we started using the Onsite Generation ionized water.
Great, thank you. Next question is for Kim. Kim, do you handle most of the repairs on cleaning equipment in-house, or do you contract to a third party?
We handle most of our cleaning equipment repairs in-house. There's certainly some things that we send out, like our battery-powered equipment, our heavy-duty equipment, like our floor machines, wide area sweepers, things like that. We do work with some of our outside vendors for repairs on those.
Great, thank you. Next question is for Tommy, which I think is a really important question. Tommy, how did you get buy-in from your staff for this program, and how did you get them to kick the bleach habit?
Well, buy-in started when we did a pilot program in '07. As Kim mentioned, the staff is real attached to smell and chemical and color and all that type thing. So we actually did a pilot program and actually, presented to them our findings over the course of a 6-month period. Really made the case that we're going this route. Not only does it benefit the environment, but it's also benefit you in terms of health, because you're working around these toxic chemicals day in and day out, and you're breathing this stuff in, and it can't be good. I'm not saying it's going to cause something, but why not? If there's a product out there, there's a way to do it and doing it better, more environmental, then let's do that. So I think once we were able to show them, is that this is a culture change for everybody, and it's a benefit for everybody. It was well received. We still, from time to time, run across someone that might bring some bleach from home and find in a closet. We have inspectors that go through buildings. We have 4 that actually canvass the campus and inspect quality. And when we find stuff like that, obviously we'll discard it. But for the most part, all are on board. And, it's just, as Kim mentioned earlier, it's more so communication, staying in touch with them, allowing them to be part of the process. And because if they're not on board, they will kill whatever you would do.
Great. And actually, Kim, I'd love you to reflect on the same question, just of how did you create buy-in for this program within your school, and did you run into any barriers in doing so, and how did you address those?
Yeah, Tommy was absolutely correct. You got to have the buy-in. I think one of the things that kind of helps in our community, we're really kind of an environmental sustainability pro type of community, so that's always been very helpful. Certainly seeing some of the accolades and things that came from the University of Georgia, and understanding that a lot of our staff, our teachers, even some of our employees, many of our employees work at both locations. We've had a lot of really good buy-in from the staff to say, hey, is it possible if I bring a spray bottle from home, will you all allow us to use some of your green certified products when we clean some of our desks and things like that? And we say, sure. And working with them to even send out notes for the annual summer school supply list to say, hey, don't send in household products, send in empty bottles, microfiber cloths for your teachers. And so I think that the whole issue that has helped us is communication and letting them see the benefits of how these products can help them do a great job and not work harder, but it allows them to be able to do a very good job, be healthy, be mindful that they're not only cleaning for the school and the students, but they're also...
Whoops. Tommy, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. It looks like somehow we lost Kim. I'm not sure what happened, but Tommy, I'm going to kick a question to you first while we wait for Kim to jump back on. Tommy, can you speak about what kind of training did you provide for using the Onsite Generation technology?
Right. So when we introduced that, again, we refer back to the pilot program, and we had successes from active ion, system that we had prior to that. That was very simple. You just pour water in a spray bottle, trigger, and spray and wipe, and that was all that's needed. But with the Genion, that requires pilot program, classroom training, before we can actually go live with that, because we had to actually make the solution on site, and we had local vendors to come in and work with us and work with the staff. So, we did the pilot, and we just kind of took it phase by phase, solution by solution, what it was used for, what each one, could clean and how effective it was. And did the classroom part first, got them comfortable with that before we actually put them out, with the solution in the hand to start cleaning. And then, we'll maintain refresher courses, classes. We have, the vendor come back in monthly to work with the staff. They ask questions about maybe some cleaning challenges that they're having. I know initially when we first started using it, it wasn't that good on stainless steel, and as opposed to the active ion, and it was just kind of we working through that, adjusting the salt levels that goes into each particular solution. So we've been having a very good relationship with the local vendors and working with the staff.
That's great. Thank you. And Kim, are you back on? It looks like you might be.
I'm back.
Great.
Sorry.
Welcome back.
Thunderstorms in Athens, so sorry for that.
That's absolutely fine. So I'm actually going to, thanks, Tommy, for sharing that information. Kim, we have a question for you.
Okay.
Wanting to know about your engagement with school nurses, how you involve them in the program, and do you meet with them as a part of it?
Yes, we involve them from sharing information. I do have a quarterly meeting with them, and that's for a really great feedback to say, where are we having issues? Where do you guys see we're having higher than normal absenteeism? Where do we see that we're having more of our students with asthma plans or just being out? If it's coming into rainy season or cold season, making sure to touch base with them, even sometimes it's just a quick email, any areas we need to target, and then working with our custodial staff, our head custodians, to say, okay, we got these schools that we really want to try to make sure that we're paying special attention to. And I think that really helps us to be in good partnership with the schools as well as the school nursing department. And it definitely, makes us feel that what we're doing matters even more, and they feel that they can call on us, and because they see the things that we don't necessarily see sometimes.
That's great. I think that's a really important strategy of making sure that you have that on the ground feedback coming in for your program. So that's great. Another question for Tommy. Tommy, we have actually quite a few questions from people wanting to know kind of about the length of impact of the solutions you're using and how long they stay active. So specifically, can you speak about if the solutions keep the surfaces cleaner longer, and how long the solution stays active for?
Sure. So in terms of the activation, the product have a shelf life of 21 days. So when we make a batch, more likely we're going to use that before we get near the 21 days. So the activation is a lot longer, and that was one of the reasons why we decided we were going to go with this product, for that reason, because after that it reverts back to just tap water and it doesn't clean anything. In terms of surfaces, how effective the product is, we use, well, there's third-party verification that we requested, before we even launch and use this. So we need to make sure that, this product is doing what it says it was doing. And also we have our own in-house ATP meter that we use to swab areas to make sure that it is cleaning to the degree that we feel that it should be, based on the charts that I illustrated earlier. So it will stay clean until obviously somebody comes along and dirty it back up. But the thing about it, when you're able to measure surfaces and take readings, which, an institution this size, obviously we can't do that for every square feet of space, but it does build us a foundation where we, show the employees how well they're doing their job, or in areas that we need to improve on, and we can structure our training around that when we sit down and we talk to them.
That's great. And Tommy, do you have a follow-up question to that from somebody who's wanting to know if there's a way to test if the solution is still active? Do you do that, or you just know that it's active for the amount of time you said?
Yeah, you can. We've always used it all up before the 21 days, but yeah, in-house we use the meter, and we can tell we can swab the area and clean it with the solution that, let's say, that has exceeded 21 days, and see if it's still clean. We haven't had to do that yet, but that's a good question that was raised, and I think it's one that we probably want to look at and see, does it stay active beyond 21 days or up to 21 days? So good question.
Great. Question for Kim, wanting to know if you're checking indoor air quality reparticles only, or also gases like VOCs with your program?
With the pilot program that we've done in our portables, we use a handheld meter that only checks the particles. We also have another machine that will check for any gases or things like that. And so we kind of feel that we're trying to check those things. And we're trying to, we don't want to, leave any stone unturned, so to speak. But the slide that I showed was on the handheld particle meter.
Great. And Kim, another question for you. You mentioned that you're using both aqueous ozone and Genion technology in your schools. Do you feel that there is room for both types of technologies in a school district to use on an ongoing basis? Can you speak a little bit about how you use those both?
Well, what we wanted to do, because at that particular point we've seen a lot of information on both, and now that the Genion does have the EPA registration number, we really wanted to try to see and make sure that could be a viable possibility for us. I don't think we need to do both. We're going to make a decision on which one, and just because of our local health department. It definitely requires us to use a restaurant grade sanitizer, no rinse sanitizer, so we know we got to keep that product in. And so now it's just the determining factor of, which one do we feel is going to be the best use for our staff to use and give us exactly what we want. And so far we haven't seen a big negative of each. One of the things that we do like about the Genion is that there is a color to it, so you can tell, so to speak, what you're using, and as Tommy mentioned, the 21-day shelf life for that disinfectant. Though we also do like the aspect with the Tersano, it's wall mounted, it goes through a double filtrated system, and at the end of 24 hours it reverts right back to tap water. So there really are benefits to both of them.
That's great. Question for both. Do you use green certified floor finishes and strippers as part of your program?
Yes. Yeah,
we do. Try to use as less as we can, but we do. We still have them in inventory.
Okay, great. And then I think we are at the top of the hour, so I'll just do one final question, which I think is an interesting one for both speakers, wanting to know about summer cleaning. And so this specific person says most of our staff feel that they have to use the chemicals with the toxic smells during the summer because the cleaning is more difficult. So can you both speak briefly about how you handle summer cleaning?
Okay, I'll take first shot at that one. For us, I've always preached to them, summer cleaning is not more difficult. Summer cleaning is just an extenuation of a program. So you need to make sure that you have a cleaning program, school by school by school, and we know and we have our logs of how we, clean our floors, when we're top scrubbing, when we are putting down the stripper, and so we're going to measure that. Same for our carpets, and then it's just a matter of working that particular schedule. So for us, we're not treating summer cleaning as anything that is being more difficult. And this year, we're going to be using our Genion degreaser as a stripper for just maybe 1 or 2 schools, but the rest of them we're actually using just tap water and a surface prep pad. So we're not using any type of chemical for the majority of our schools. And then we go back with a green seal finish that goes on top of that, and we have so far had really, really great results, and we do like that process.
So here at Tech, and probably as Kim said, to us, summer, we don't differentiate. Cleaning is the same. It does allow us to get into more areas when the kids are away, but in terms of processes or anything like that, that does not change. The housing unit on campus, which I don't oversee, now they do go through a more intense level of cleaning because they're able to get into dormitories when during the year's time. During the year they can't. But I would think that the processes they have in place would be the same as during the year. It's just that we have access to more area during the summer. That's the only difference here.
Great. Thank you so much, both to Kim and Tommy. We so appreciate you sharing the information about your programs, and thank you to everybody for joining our webinar today. Just once again, if you're interested in signing up for our Green Clean Schools Leadership Institute, this is the link. We encourage you to visit the link to read more about it. And thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar, and we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar along with the slides within the next few days, and welcome any additional questions that you might have. So thank you, and enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.